Here we go.
All right, so here, let me read. This is what the website put for Alex and Tim. It says, an emotional Tim confides in Alex from the get-go, and she receives his vulnerability with an open heart. During their first date, he tells her about the untimely passing of both his sisters and how losing them impacted his views on love, life, and death. He said, I don't want to get married. I want to die married, Tim tells her. That strikes a chord with Alex, who considers marriage.
That was so good.
That was bars. Who considered marriage to be the sanctity. When her longtime stepdad left the family following her mom's health condition, Alex set out to find love and endure through the toughest of times. So, what are your thoughts on Alex and Tim's rocky breakup? I don't even know to call it rocky, but you know, he crossed them legs, and I knew that conversation was coming.
Alex. Okay. I will admit, initially, I was a little bothered with Alex and her very, she had a very attitude. She just had attitude that I wasn't a fan of.
She got mad early on about the dog,
like a spoiled brat type attitude. And I didn't really care for the way she spoke to Tim. I didn't like that.
When she told him not to wear the hat, like, don't wear the hat. He's like, I like it. Don't wear it.
Being, just too controlling or demanding at first. But I loved their connection in the pod, so I was interested in seeing where it went. But then Tim started to quickly show his side. He's very, very sensitive. And he needs therapy. He really needs to go see a therapist, a psychiatrist. He needs help because I don't know what happened to his sisters and how they passed, but something happened that he has not gotten the skills and tools needed to get through and cope with through the rest of his life.
What does that say when you even see him still wearing his sister's rings after they passed away, like daily? I mean, he wakes up to put it on. He showers with them. That's his sisters really on his mind a lot. Like, and they're no longer here. That could be overbearing in a relationship. I could see.
Yeah.
Like, I'm laying with you, but I'm laying also with your sister's spirit, which again is very touching. But like, how do you compete with that?
Well, I wouldn't have thought. I thought it was a very sweet gesture when I saw him give her. What was it that he gave? He gave her something of one of his deceased sisters' ring, whatever it was. I was initially like, oh my gosh, wow, that's deep. But in retrospect, I'm now realizing that if I see that again with anybody, I'm going to be concerned and scared for the person that's to receive that because he didn't even really know her that well and he gave to her that. But then he's very, Tim lacks patience and I don't want to say self-control because he seems to be good at communicating his thoughts at some point, but I don't even know how to explain it. I think that he just needs help. I don't appreciate how it ended where he came in saying like, you didn't text me back. You fell asleep.
Took a nap.
You took a nap when my parents were here. And that's where, I had to side with Alex on that because I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, and I'll tell you why I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous for the simple fact that, one, when they explained the text conversation, he did not ask her a question that required an answer. Secondly, she explained that they had, driven down for several hours. They had sat and talked to the parents for 4 hours. And when the cameras went off, she took a nap.
1 hour.
I think that as a man, boyfriend, husband, whatever, you need to be intentional about communicating your expectations and your needs to your woman prior to something happening. Yes, you won't be able to guesstimate everything that could happen, but for the most part, you need to communicate your character and expectations to your woman so things aren't a surprise. Maybe he didn't think she'd fall asleep, but how would she have known that that's the issue? Like I said, he'd have been pissed with me too, because I would have been sleepy and went to go lay the hell down and not thought nothing of it.
Yeah, you can't get mad after the fact. Like, and she said it perfectly. How do I know you're mad at something you ain't even brought up to me? Why do you let all this fester and then come tell me? Like, the fact that he went in there and crossed his legs and said, she said, well, can I eat real quick over here? I haven't ate all day. He said, it's better you come over here. I'm like, he knew what he was about to do. I'm like, why didn't you even just let her eat? Like, why was it so adamant that she couldn't even put food on her stomach and you need to break, okay, he's about to break up with her. I need to break up with you now. It showed me that definitely there's something more that was happening that we didn't see on camera that he may talk about in a reunion.
Now, I will say that I do think that, and he may tell a story of, you know, this was not, although he communicated to us in the way in which we saw it on the show, was that it was over because she took a nap and she answered the text. But I do think for him, it was just really the last straw of other things, because I will say, on top of my initial thoughts of Alex, like having a just different type of attitude or lack of real respect with talking to her man, I thought that she had some red flags that some men would be bothered by. For example, she seemed to be just more of a lazy young woman. Like,
yeah, their house was night and day as far as the way they're living.
Active. She doesn't seem to be intentional about just cleaning or even.
Well, no, she said her excuse was she had to hurry and get out of there. And I heard that excuse before with Kwame from a couple seasons ago, where his stuff was kind of messy because he had to rush out of there.
His stuff didn't even look like that.
Yeah, her stuff really looked like, this is how you living. This ain't you looking for clothes and having to leave next day.
I don't even know. Just off of, and again, we only saw a little bit. I mean, this is only us just making judgment, but she just seems to be like a very lazy person. She seems like she's just lazy, and I'm just being honest. I mean, I don't know. I love you so much, and have always loved you so much that I can't imagine, like, I wouldn't have fallen asleep upon newly meeting you and being around you, because I would have wanted to be intentional about showing up for you. So I don't know what.
So should have just been with Alex. Hey, I'm gonna go lay down for a little bit, because even if like there's a breaking moment after 4 hours of talking, hey, I'm gonna go to the stairs and relax just a little bit, if that's okay. Technically, she could have been on that type of time just to assume I could sleep.
Well, yeah, and I saw again. I keep hearing the people that are on these shows say it's maybe the editing, because that is a good question. I do wonder, did she go tell him that she's going to go take a nap? And
then he just took that as...
And if she did go and stop and say, I'm going to go take a nap.
And if he didn't say nothing.
Did he not take the opportunity to say, hey, Alex, you know, hey, babe, you know, I would rather you not.
Right.
It's very
Versus
important to me.
Evaluating her
awake.
It seemed like he was just evaluating her the whole 2 weeks. Like, I'm going to just evaluate you, and then I'll let you know at the end. If I have to tell you, I can't be with you. I'm like, damn, that's kind of harsh.
They both are not good for each other. He seems to have, you know, way more of an expectation than his wife of what he would want in a wife. And she has a lot of self-reflecting and growing to do. And I hope that she sees that. If she comes out of this feeling like she did nothing wrong, then she's failed herself, because she still absolutely has things to change about herself. I don't know what happened in their initial argument or disagreement, but something she did turned him off about her. I don't know if she hit him. I don't know if it's the way she spoke to him or whatever the case may be, but she needs to be more intentional, especially if she has plans to become somebody's life partner, wife. Like, you shouldn't be that damn lazy. I don't know. Everybody's different, and every person has different expectations. Not every man expects their woman to go in there and wash the dishes every second or time or whatever. Yeah.
But to hold that against her without
communicating, that is crazy.
Do you feel like the show should allow that? Like, hey, I'm watching you, I'm evaluating, it's been 2 weeks, and I just don't want to get married. Or like, and I don't mean the show, but should he have correct her each little time? Because that's what Nick D and Hannah went through, and that still didn't work out.
I would never want to be married to a person like Tim. If you got an issue, if after every issue you're ready to walk out the door, you don't need to be married. You definitely need to. You are a person who you need to spend years being with somebody before marrying somebody, because you cannot leave after every little thing. You're ready to go. I'm done. I don't ever want to see you again. That's what he told her.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
I don't ever want to see you again. That's wild. Like, and then commits to see her the next couple of days. But so wait, what do you think? What do you think was said during the Cabo trip that made him just really go sleep somewhere else and be done with the show? Like, what do you think she could have said to him?
I think she probably told him he cried too fucking much or something. I mean, she must have said something with.
She might have said something about his sisters.
Or maybe I mean, I have.
She might have called him a little fruity.
I didn't even think about that. Maybe she did. But in any case,
she might have hit him.
I really do. On some real stuff, I pray that he can get some type of therapy to talk about that because that's going to be an issue for him no matter what woman he gets with. If he doesn't learn how to manage his emotions when it comes to those losses and his expectations of it feels like he has an expectation of perfection from a woman of things that he has not communicated. You cannot expect. Every person is different. Every woman is different. You need to open your mouth, sir. It's just ridiculous. And because of the way he handled that, I'm sitting there with Alex. I'm like, Tim, you kind of had me initially where I'm like, okay, I can see certain things. But at the same time, the way he did that with Alex, I'm on Alex's side like, yeah, I ain't even finna make no fuss about it. Okay, you done? Okay, great. Because if you're sitting here, you're supposed to be my potential husband, and you looking at me saying, you done because I took a nap. And I didn't respond to a text that you didn't send a question that needed answering. And I'm at work. I'm not, like he told her, you're not the person for me. Yeah, then you're not the person for me because this is ridiculous. This is a petty thing in the grand scheme of things that we could be dealing with.
That is wild. That is wild. Would you be surprised if they came back to the show and like were still together? Like actually got together afterwards?
And maybe, but I just don't, I genuinely don't think that they're compatible because he just has some issues that, and listen, a lot of people would disagree. I saw several people, on Tim's side, and very sympathetic to him. And I'm sympathetic to the fact that I feel like he's had, experienced some loss and he's very much more sensitive than maybe some people. But I don't appreciate his inability to communicate to his partner. I'm sorry, it just don't work like that. People, we don't know how to read minds and you need to learn to open your mouth. And from what they showed us, it just didn't make me feel like he's said these things to Alex beforehand. And I personally wouldn't be able to deal with that. You can't come at me mad about things you did not say.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the crazy. Yeah, I think they may. I don't know. I don't know if they were even attracted to each other. Is the problem, man? I don't know. That one's a weird one.
She started snapping at him when he kind of joked about, she came out with the nose ring. He wasn't aware she had that, and they just had some things that I don't even know. I wonder how his mom feels about it all. That would be interesting.